I am making this video to raise awareness about Squeak Latex and potential buyers who support them because there's not much information about there in regard to Squeak Latex treating their customers poorly. The only people who tend to know about Squeak's business are people who order custom suits from him. This is going to be a long video, and this is actually the second time that I'll be making this video because I deleted the video originally, but I decided to make it again because Oz Kangaroo, or Duke, whoever you want to refer by, deleted my entire conversation with him in an attempt to tamper with evidence. I will let you all know towards the end of the video when I don't have any more screenshots, so you will have to believe everything that I say, which shouldn't be hard because this video is going to be littered with evidence, and I will be using this evidence to back up my information, which is what Squeak Latex attempted to remove in order to salvage their reputation. This video is literally going to hurt me to make because I felt like I had a personal connection with the owner of Squeak Latex, who you may recognize as Oz Kangaroo or Duke. I was hesitant to make this video because it occurred to me that I needed to get this information out there, because Squeak Latex is a company where many people do not look at the negatives of. I have been wanting to make this video for a long time. I refused to bring myself to do that because I gave Oz a couple of chances to redeem himself, and he did not become a better business owner because of that. However, Oz would have made this experience much nicer if I wasn't verbally attacked, threatened to get a refund pushed to me, and removed evidence to try and save his business from me making this video. With that said, let's dive into the first topic, which is my experience with the Blueberry suit order. My first communication with Oz was pleasant. I saw that he followed me on Twitter, and I complimented his suits to get onto his good side. I told him that he was the very first furry that I have ever seen in my life, and I was bummed to see him hesitant about leaving the fandom. He thanked me, and I haven't talked to him until a few months later where I messaged him on his Duke account. I ordered a latex catfish suit, and I did not like how the suit turned out because the valve was too small for such a huge suit. I asked for some advice, and he gave me some, as well as offering to make me a custom latex suit of Zaros. I was incredibly happy, and I asked him for a price estimate, and he said it was going to be around $1,500 to $1,800 plus shipping with no payment plans. He said that he was going to get it pushed into production for me, which was going to take a couple of weeks. Since we were talking about getting suits made, I asked him how much it would be to get a Blueberry suit made as well. He offered me about $1,400 for a suit like that, and he offered me a pre-owned suit which he was willing to part with to get some extra cash pretty quickly. I said I wasn't going to fit because I'm 5'6" and he is 6 foot. Keep in mind that I said what my height was because this is going to be very important later. He said that the suit should fit because it's designed for someone who's a lot smaller than him. Quite a bit later, I sent him a reference sheet and he said I can use that, light blue, white with red hair, got it. Later we had a miscommunication. I told him that I was about to send $1,200 plus shipping for the Blueberry suit, and then he said that shipping was going to be charged after it's going to be completed. I got confused because he said he was willing to part with his Blueberry suit, but instead he was going to make one completely from scratch for me. This was an issue because I waited roughly a month in order to get the Blueberry suit when it was ready all along, and he forgot that he was selling me his pre-owned suit. A week later, I sent him a stern message. Let me read it to you. I said, "Sorry for the stern message, Duke, but I'm feeling hesitant with ordering another product from you since it's taking a month to get the concept of the inflation suit for Z to get completed, and you've taken over 2 weeks since payment and you still haven't sent the Blueberry suit. Obviously, the market for these suits is almost non-existent, which is why I'm going to order from you anyways. I'm sorry for sounding foul, but I feel like I'm a cash grab instead of a customer. I'm not going to be happy giving you a couple grand." He responded with, "Okay, so I have been working, I have had to go out of state, but I brought the suit with me. I'm being it prepped," I don't know what he meant by that, "and shipped out today. I'll text you the amount to pay once it's gone. As for the art, I have to rely on my artist that draws for me. I've already paid him for the concept art, I'm just waiting on him, I'll give him a poke today." Just to add on here, I wanted to mention that I wasn't given a time estimate for when the art was going to be done, so therefore I was kind of in the wrong here to demand him for an update. I take the full blame here for kind of lashing out when I wasn't giving him enough time to get the suit sent out, but regardless, waiting a month for a pre-made is still kind of unacceptable, unless the business trip that he was on did take 1 month for him to finish. He finally sent the Blueberry suit on June 5th with complimentary shipping as an apology for the delay. From the day when I sent him payment to the day where I received the suit in the mail, it took exactly 4 weeks to get it sent to me. During the past 4 weeks that I have been waiting for this Blueberry suit to get sent out to me, I was waiting for an artist to create a reference sheet that Duke hired for me, as I just mentioned. We have had a little bit of friendly talk to kill time, and we were talking about how the Blueberry suit fit me. I said that the suit got a little short around my ankles, but it turned out that was exactly how the suit was supposed to fit. He asked me how short I was again, and I responded with 5'6", almost 5'7". Yet again, keep this in mind because this is another big piece of evidence for what is going to happen later. So for my personal experience about the custom Zaros suit, on June 21st, it was about a month and a half since I had requested to get a custom suit made for Zaros. I was talking to my friend Zandiel, who you may have seen in my videos, and he has a pending suit with Squeak Latex. Zandiel has been waiting 4 years, I repeat 4 years, for his suit to get produced, and he has still not received anything yet. This made me very nervous because a 4-year turnaround time that my friend was dealing with made me very worried about wanting to order from him. However, this suit was my dream suit, as I mentioned, and I was so close to getting an order put in so that my dream didn't have to be a dream anymore. Anyways, back to Zandiel. Him and I were talking, and he said that Duke provided him a reference sheet of what his inflation suit was going to look like. I didn't receive anything like that. In fact, I thought that it was a reference sheet from the artist that Duke hired for me. Duke admitted that the reference sheet was a piece of art that he whipped together, and that he can make one for me so that I didn't have to keep on waiting. While I still had his attention, I asked if he was willing to do a rush order on the inflation suit, and he said it's something that he normally doesn't do, but he can do for me for an additional price. We didn't agree to a rush order yet until I had a design down, and after a couple of days of designing the base for the suit, we agreed to this appearance on the screen. He never gave me a final price on what the suit was going to be, and it's been about 1.5 months since we have been talking about the suit in the first place. I asked him what the price was going to be, and he said that he wrote it down somewhere and that it was going to be $1,750 for the suit. I asked him how much it would be for a rush order fee, and he said that it would bring it up to an even $2,000. We agreed to the price, and he said that he will attempt to get it to me in 4 weeks. We spoke occasionally for the next couple of months. Fast forwarding to November 3rd, 2019, my suit got finished. However, there was a large issue, and this is what Duke said. So I have some unfortunate news regarding the suit. It seems there was a mix-up in the swatch order, and my builders produced the suit with gray instead of white. Obviously, you don't have to accept the suit as it is, and I'm working on a solution. I'm going to sell my blueberry suit to pay to produce the correct suit in the correct order. I'll then edit this wrong color suit by removing the thigh markings and changing the hair. I'll then put it up for auction and have to try and recover the cost that way. I'm terribly sorry. I'm incredibly frustrated that not only have my production team been slower than expected, now this mistake. These are what the images of the suit originally looks like. Just to shorten my response, you may pause and read this long message that I sent him if you want, but I basically said that everything looked fine except the color mix-up, and that I was going to help him find someone to sell the blueberry suit to. I asked him how much he was going to sell his blueberry suit for, and he said that it was going to be about $1,000. I said I would buy it, but I didn't want to impulse buy because I would have gone into my student loans in order to afford the suit, which is a terrible idea, by the way. Don't do that, guys, even with fursuits. I asked him if I was going to be able to fit into my Zaros suit, and he said that I was going to fit. Since he didn't want my suit to be misunderstood as a husky, he offered to change the tail for me because he was so used to building huskies for suits. We agreed to do something similar to a raccoon tail, that way it looked a little more puffy. December 22nd, 2019 was when my suit was finally done being rebuilt, which looks like this. He sent me many messages, but I will read it to you. I'll send you better photos soon and some things will be changed, but my guy removed the thigh markings during the update from gray to white. He also tried to color in the tips, but it honestly just rubs off, so I ended up stripping the black colors off the tips. I'm going to try to plasti dip them instead. However, I unfortunately can't do anything to add the side markings back. The suit is also tall, so it may be far too big for you. I'm flustered and frustrated. One of the many reasons why I don't do custom characters with so many details is because it never works out exactly right due to translation issues. If you want me to try again, I can. It'll just have to wait until next month when I have the money to have a second one made. I'll lose money, but that's not your fault. If you read the screenshot in your head while I was reading it aloud to you, you may have realized that I asked him what the height of the suit was. He said that it was fit for someone who's 5'10" and he's 6 foot, and he was able to fit into it. That is what his company put into the order, even though he didn't request it as it says here. He gave me options. I could either get the hair on the suit changed and then allow to sell the suit at an auction so then he can get another one made for me, or he can just sell it and refund me completely. This would mean that I would have no suit in the end, and this was all wasted time. I said to him, I'd feel bad having another one made since I understand that it stresses you out, that you're going to have to sell the suit again to make back some of the profit, and have to wait again to get it made correctly. I also feel bad that I paid extra to have a rush order done, pushing everything back and still wanting a suit done. I somewhat hate myself for doing this, but would you be able to get it made correctly again? I'd try to help by paying you extra, but I'd be digging into my student loans if I did that. He said that I didn't have to pay anymore as long as I was okay with him selling the suit. I was nervous because I thought that this was the second suit that he made that he's going to end up selling, so then he didn't lose any profit. He said, no, it's the same suit. They removed all the gray and then they made it white. He then claimed that after this batch of suits that he's producing, that he's done producing for good. We talked more about what kind of changes that can be made to the suit, and then he apologized again that the suit was the wrong height and that the suit was not up to my expectations. He clarified what my height was, got it wrong, and then I corrected him. This is why I kept saying throughout the video to remember what my height was, because he produced a completely incorrect suit that would not fit me. I gave him a rundown on the edits, which said, hip markings being reapplied, hair black in the back, size for a 5'6" person, and tail change to puffy. He gave me a thumbs up, and I asked him how much that he was going to sell the suit for. He said that he was going to sell it for $1,800 at an auction starting bid. I said that Zandiel was possibly able to buy it, and then Duke said that Zandiel's suit was completed. After 4 years of Zandiel waiting, he finally got his suit. Meanwhile, I put a rush order in, and he screwed up the suit twice, and I'm still waiting for my suit. At this point, the suit was about 3 to 4 months past the deadline. January 13th, 2020, he sent me a photoshopped concept of what Zaros was supposed to look like, and I gave him the okay. He told me to not share the photoshopped concept and that the final result will look different. He said that he was going to start auctioning the suit shortly, and that he removed the hair and the hit markings on the suit, leaving the suit looking 90% just like Zaros as he attempted to put it up for auction. Now you're going to see a little bit of change in the screenshots since Duke started to message me on his Oz account. Like I mentioned twice already, these two are the same people, so I will be calling him Oz, so now then they follow the screenshots. On January 27, 2020, there was a lot of stuff that was said, and I'm going to summarize it for you since this video is already getting long. Apologies to the mobile viewers for reading this very small text, but you may pause and read the screenshots if you want all the details. He checked in with me because he saw a video that I posted talking about my suit. I forgot which video this was, but I mentioned it briefly that I was supposed to get a suit from Squeak Latex a couple months ago, but I'm still waiting. I mentioned Squeak Latex's name in the video, and this is where Oz had red flags. He asked if everything was fine and if I wanted anything else to put my mind at ease. I said nothing was wrong, and he expressed paranoia by telling me that I can be honest with him. He told me that he had a Husky sphere suit that was going to get made, and mine was going to be done shortly after. I told him that I was fine with the experience and that I didn't have a deadline for the suit, and I told him that I understood that he is not taking custom orders anymore. He said that a client pulled an order because of my video because he was worried. I mentioned in my video that my suit was made incorrectly, which is why the person pulled their order, which was out of concern. He said that he was no longer taking custom orders because he felt bad dissatisfying people. He said that he wasn't angry and that all this is a learning experience for him, which helped him make better choices. March 12, 2020 was when COVID-19 started to become an issue in the USA, and I asked him how the suit was coming along. He said that everything has paused in production because everything was coming to a standstill. He mentioned some personal life issues, which I will be leaving out this video for his privacy. On March 20th, 2020, I asked him if it was okay for a refund on the rush order since it was about 7 months past the due date. He said that was going to be fine and that he was going to send me a refund when the suit sells. He refunded me $250 so that the price of the suit went back down to $1,750 again. On April 22nd, 2020, he told me that the suit was starting production. He checked in and clarified with me that everything was going well. On April 28th, 2020, I sent him a massive novel that I'm not going to read for you guys, but I will summarize it for all of you. I said that I felt bad about him losing money and that I was going to get hurt writing this message because I see him as a friendly guy and I've been struggling with my last 2 weeks of the spring semester because the auction has just been on my mind. I said that the similarities between the two suits, and by the two suits I mean my custom suit and the suit that he's putting up for auction, have been incredibly alike, and that the only two differences between the auctioned suit and my persona were just the hair and the markings on the hips. The auction suit was taking the uniqueness out of my persona, and if there ended up being two suits out there that looked similar, there would be no uniqueness to the suit that I'm getting custom made for Zaros. I mentioned to him that he said in the listing that it fits people as short as 5'2", which is entirely misleading. The main reason why I was not able to fit into the suit was because I was too short. Since I was 5'6", and since the suit was made for someone 5'10", it would not even be close to fitting someone who's 5'2". I said that I'm forgiving of the accidents that he's making, and that I didn't want him to feel like and that I didn't want to feel like I'm at fault for all of the mistakes that happened throughout this order. I just wanted to vent to him without seeming hostile towards him. He asked me what the concern was, and he asked if I didn't want him to sell the suit. He stated that he tried removing everything that he could, and that the suit could fit someone short, but the legs would be bumped. He asked what I would like to do, and I wish that the suit wasn't sold, but I can't stop him from doing that. He caught on that it was clear that I was unhappy with the suit, and he didn't want me to feel upset about it. I told him that I didn't know what the options were, and that I was getting overwhelmed with what to do because I was stressed out with the order process and life concerns during that time. He gave me options. I could either get the suit sent out to me immediately as it is, get the hair and everything added back on so then it can be shipped out to me, or let the auction finish and he rebuilds a smaller suit for me. I told him that I wanted him to finish the auction so that I can get the suit that I originally wanted. He said that I sounded unhappy with the decision, and I said, I don't think that there's really a decision that is going to make me happy in the end. You can just finish the auction with and carry on with it. I'll just wait for the new suit. A lot of people may argue that Zaros' design is really quite simple, and that the uniqueness with my persona is the hair on it. If the size wasn't screwed up previously, then this auction would have never happened in the first place. I mentioned my height to him numerous times throughout the commission, and you can see them in the screenshots. I understand that he's attempting to get his money back from his losses, but I was left with no other option to get the dream suit that I spent almost $2,000 on. Since I know that some people will argue that my design is simple, then my persona's design shouldn't have been screwed up in the first place with the suit. I sent many references and a lot of textual descriptions to avoid this from happening. He continued to ask if I wanted a refund and no suit again. I said that I didn't want to go through that because I originally paid $250 extra in order to get the suit that I wanted in the first place many months ago. He told me to email him my decision. He just said that he wasn't asking anything strange and that it's normal for a business to do this with their customers. He kept attempting to push a refund towards me, which is not what I wanted, because if I did that, all of this would have been wasted time, and I will be more than happy with showing this email on this video, because I'm showing all of you that he was using this against me and for his protection. He will later claim that I had full control, when in reality he only gave me 3 options to choose from, where none of them were decisions that would have made me happier with the order. I was not happy with any of these decisions, but if I wanted to get the suit that I really wanted, I would have had to do something which is every furry's nightmare, which is having their design stolen, or mostly stolen, or instead of stolen I should just say copied, by other furries and have it put onto a suit for someone else to buy. On May 15, 2020, I decided to hang out with Zandiel, and this was the first time I have seen Zandiel's suit in person. I examined the suit out of curiosity, and I saw some tubes in the nostrils of Zandiel's suit that I didn't really like. I wore a bunny suit that Squeak Latex made one time, and the suit didn't have these weird looking tubes. Zandiel said that they go up his nose, but Oz said that these tubes are actually supposed to go into the mouth. I requested to not have these on my Zaros suit, and he said that he will do that, and he said that he was worried that he upsetted me. He sighed, and he said that he gave me full control of the situation, when in reality, he put me in a situation where I was given 3 choices to choose from, but none of them were morally correct for me. He asked me if I wanted to get a full refund, and I said no, and that I wanted a suit. Oz started to turn hostile towards me, and he congratulated me for being the last customer to ever order a custom suit from him. He expressed concern that I was going to badmouth him, and he kept apologizing, and he told me to have a good weekend. Before he did that, he just said that he wanted to see me happy in a suit that I have always wanted. This next message is a long message, but to sum it up, I said that I felt sick that 90% of my persona's design was put onto a suit and was auctioned off like that. I told him that I was not going to call him out and that we worked things as best as possible. There wasn't anything available for me that would have made me 100% happy. I said that I wasn't going to twist words on him, and what happened in the past happened. I wished him a good weekend, and then he verbally attacked me. Oz said, "Fuck this. This is why I fucking hate dealing with people. This is why depression fucking eats at me. You can't fucking please anyone. You pull your hair out creating things for people, creating a business to bring fantasies to life, and the fandom just fucks you over constantly. Fuck it. I want to fully refund you. I'm done. You're never going to be fucking happy, and you'll just badmouth me and Squeak. Why make any more fucking effort? I can't do this anymore. I'm in tears and I'm shaking." I forgot to mention earlier, but I was going to make an unboxing video, and I wanted to quickly talk about the auction before making the unboxing. It was only going to take 10 seconds, and all I would have said was that I would have gotten the suit earlier if I didn't have any miscommunications with him. He took this as leverage and he used this to play victim against me, and he told me to make my f***ing video and that it helps so much and that it's so necessary. He said he was going to refund me and that he couldn't handle my yo-yo personality, even though I was playing as cool with him as possible. He said, "Don't say you're fine if you're fucking not, I have you fucking options." I said to Oz that he was making me upset, and then he told me to not twist words like it's his fault. Now I started doing voice messages and I sounded like a crybaby, but I was basically saying in them that I looked up to Oz. Since the beginning of the video, I said that he was the first furry that I have ever met, and I looked up to him, and I saw him as inspiration with making some of the videos on my YouTube channel. And since I was seeing Oz's dark side, it was breaking my heart. He kept using the conversation as leverage, saying, "Want a screenshot? Rant about this? How it's unprofessional? I don't care anymore. I'm not making suits for people anymore. I'm done. People want to buy ready-made, ready to go. That's up to them. But that's all I'll be doing, because fuck trying to deal with this shit anymore." After a lot of talking, he said, "Look, let's just get your suit finished." He apologized. A couple of weeks later, him and I kept checking in with each other. I won't go in depth here. Him and I chit-chatted every now and then until June 19th, which is when I asked him if he had any updates with the suit. He just said that COVID has been slowing everything down and that he will poke me when he gets an update. I simply said, "All right," just so that everything would be kept cool between him and I. He said, "Are we cool? Do you like me? I worry because you never seem to want to chat, and when you do, it's very short and blunt. I can respect if you're not interested in a friendship with me, and I can simply keep it professional and update you with this order instead." He later expressed that he was paranoid about how I felt towards him, and I just said I wasn't much of a conversation starter, and I wanted him to feel like I wasn't excluding him from a friendship, even though him and I didn't talk too much. We talked a little more, and then on July 17th, I asked him that I saw a pre-made suit finished before mine, and that I wanted to know where my suit was in the queue. He said that the person changed their mind, which caused the suit to become raveled off. He then used the excuse of refunding me if I didn't want to wait anymore, which I didn't want. I was just asking him for an update. He said that he liked me and that he didn't want it to be weird between us. I told him that I was doing my best to forget our conflict that he and I had a couple months ago, and he said he felt like garbage after allowing people to get custom suits from him again. I told him to not feel bad and that I have been waiting a year and that I can wait even longer because I'm patient. I told him that when my classes start again next month, I will forget all about it. He said that everyone always badmouths him, no matter how hard he tries. It's just not seen on the internet because a lot of people don't want to expose videos about Squeak online because of negative backlash, which is what I'm willing to risk. I said that I didn't hate him, and even if I did, I wouldn't be speaking to him. He apologized and he said that he felt powerless. At this point in the video, I have no more screenshots or evidence because this is where Oz deleted the conversation, so you will have to believe what I say by word now. Regardless, there isn't that much else to say. He gave me another update asking if I wanted to have the bottom of the feet changed because they made it completely blue, and not just the toes blue like what Zaros was supposed to look like. However, I said that that was going to be fine because nobody is going to see the bottom of the feet of the suit unless I'm laying on my side or on my back, but regardless, it's not that big of a deal. He also had to change the eye colors because the company made the white part of the eye blue instead of white. That got fixed, and then he finally took some pictures of it, released it on Fur Affinity, Twitter, and his websites, and then sent it out to me. I received the suit, and before I went to my friend Zaniel to film the unboxing, I started to get excited to release the unboxing video on my YouTube channel. In fact, the unboxing video is one of the quickest trending videos on my channel that I have ever uploaded. So now, because I was excited, I was thinking about what to say for a script. I messaged Oz and asked him what I should say and what I should not say. All he wanted me to say in the video was the delay due to COVID. He didn't want me to say anything else that happened between us because he was worried about me saying something wrong in the video, kind of what the purpose of this video is about. We filmed the video, released it, and then everything went fine there. Later that day, I asked him if he had any pre-mades available because I was looking at getting another suit, and he said no. I told him that I was looking forward to ordering from him again once his business started to do a little better and isn't being overwhelmed, which led him to having to stop producing for a while. He took this as an offense, and he told me that I was being cold with my responses and that I was throwing shade at him. That wasn't the case at all. I was just saying that I didn't want to order from him if he's not up for the task to produce them. I also mentioned that I would order more suits from him if I had the money, and yet again he took this as an offense, saying that other businesses back then were charging easily $8,000 for suits, and he's making them as affordable as possible. This, yet again, wasn't the case at all. He couldn't accept the fact that I'm a broke college student, and he turned the wording around so that he makes it sound like that it's his fault that I can't get the suits from him. So I mentioned at the beginning of the video that this is a take two for me making this video, because I wanted to update with more recent information. Another reason why I'm making a second version of this video is because I actually stored this video on YouTube so that it was ready to be published in a click of a button. I actually felt guilty at first that I made this video about him, and I wanted to confess to him about what I did because he keeps telling me that I can be honest with him. So I listened to him. I was honest with him, and I told him that I made this video because I wanted to confess to him that I felt bad about what I made and what was on YouTube. And he took this as blackmail instead of honesty. I told him that I deleted the video and the contents because I didn't want to feel guilty anymore about what I made about him. He asked me why it was on YouTube because it seemed like that I put it on there to show people privately. You can see that this video is very long and is also in 4K resolution. A minute of 4K video is roughly 240 megabytes. I wanted to clear off space on my hard drive so then I didn't have it on my PC anymore. So I put it on YouTube because that's the only site I know of that doesn't restrict you with storage space, such as Google Drive where you only get 15 gigabytes for free. Plus, it would be pre-uploaded and ready to publish so then I didn't have to deal with waiting anymore if he decided to make me angry again to the point where I would have wanted to upload this video. I remade this part of the video because I wanted to include a different topic so I could keep people anonymous so that I don't drag innocent furries into this. I have been keeping this video as factual as possible by including as many screenshots as I could before he deleted the conversation. However, you're going to hear me speak a little opinionated for this upcoming portion of the video. I will be describing Oz's past journal on Fur Affinity, which talked about his previous drama 4 years ago, and then I will be describing someone's personal experience with ordering from Squeak Latex. I also want to state here that a lot of the stuff that you're going to hear me read about is stuff that I have personally experienced, and it was Oz's previous response to this sort of drama. Therefore, that means that you're probably going to hear a similar response from Oz if he decides to respond to this video. 4 years ago, Oz made a journal on Fur Affinity where he talked about drama that he was dealing with. This may help clear up some possible questions that you may have as you have watched this video. In this journal, which I will be skipping around about, he said, "Unfortunately, there are a group of individuals that are offended by me and my business practice. Some have actively encouraged what I deem to be hurtful acts. Believe it or not, I do actually sympathize and understand why they feel the way they do. I have privately lashed out to these people when I felt they were in the wrong and I was being attacked. For that, I am truly sorry. I didn't mean to offend or hurt anyone. It's just hard to lay there and take punches. If I try to stand up and defend myself, it makes them and the situation with me worse. I don't want these people to dislike me, nor do I want them to feel I'm swindling or taking advantage of their friends or the community. I hope that they see reason and understand the core purpose of business." Now, if Oz did feel sympathetic, he would not have deleted the conversation and tried to hide from me. He apologized a couple times, like at screenshot 40 here on the screen, saying that he was sorry and that he let me down, making it look like it was his fault. He hasn't apologized to me for a few things in the past, like shortly before he deleted this conversation with me. I asked him for advice on how to deal with horny furries trying to get into my DMs from the videos that I make, and he basically said, "Face it, you're making fetish videos. Don't deny if you fap your own content, you probably get off on it." That was very intrusive of him. You may believe that or not, but he deleted the conversation shortly after that, so I don't have the screenshot. But this is what threw me over and made me consider making this video because I have had it with him. He never apologized or even talked to me since that happened. I never blocked him after he deleted the conversations, mainly because I want him to have battlegrounds as I make this video. I'm not going to do a hit and run against him because it would be unfair for him to not be able to respond to this video. If he wants to publicly or privately respond about this video, I would be more than happy to hear it. However, I don't see ghosting on Telegram as a way to avoid this attention. If one says sorry, they only admit wrongdoing, but to be truthfully sorry, you have to prove that you're changing for the better with your actions. Going down the journal a little more, he states, "I don't understand why I'm hated for trying to give something to the community. Am I hated because I lash out when I'm wronged or upset because of the actions of others? I am only human and I am sorry for losing my cool at times, especially in bouts of depression brought on by the actions of others. Whilst this is my dream and do this to give back something, I'm not a charity. I don't want to feel guilty for making money for time and effort. It is a business and my income. Do people hate furry artists for charging commissions? Fursuit builders for making a profit on suits? Is it the fact that I outsource the production of my patterns and designs that offends them? Do they think I'm lazy for doing so? I wish they'd understand I do this for cost reasons so I can keep the final cost of the product low and reasonable. You can get a custom suit from me for less than that of a fursuit. Why is this a bad thing? We are all human and we all make mistakes, but we cannot become better people unless we change. Believe it or not, I was actually incredibly toxic a few years ago. Once I started to reflect on my attitude, I became a better person. I started making more friends and I became happier with my life. I strongly believe in second chances, and I still don't think that it's too late for Oz to make decisions to become a better business owner. I felt like he made a few incomparable arguments in his response that I just read. People do not hate furry artists because they're charging for commissions. They are offering a service similar to what Oz is doing. Fursuit makers shouldn't be hated for charging either. They spend 80 to 100 hours per suit, maybe more, maybe less, and this is their full-time job. They must meet a quota, and if they don't, they lose money. Not to mention that they also need to have this kind of experience for this type of career. It's not easy running a business. This next part states, people think I'm mean or nasty. I'm not mean or nasty to every customer. Understand that if I'm losing my cool at you, it's not random. You're offending me in a way that causes me to be upset. I always try to be reasonable and understanding towards my customers, even when they have a problem. I've lost out big time by replacing suits for free or refunding without ever taking the item back, only to see it still in use even though I thought it was damaged or unusable. What business do you know would ever give a refund without taking the item back? That just comes with business. If people want to be like that, I can't stop them. They hate me so much yet are happy to have fun times in my suits. I'll help them loose out. I don't know what he meant by that. They still get their product to have fun in. Then they will still turn around and talk trash about me in the company. I'm not intending to offend Oz in any way, shape, or form. I mean, I could have offended him with making this video, but before I created this video, I did everything that I could to become a good customer. I was patient, I offered him extra money to help with costs, I helped him find someone who could buy one of his pre-owned suits so then he can make some money again. I tried having friendly talk with him, and finally, I'm using his suits in my videos to promote them. When he stated, what businesses do you know would ever give a refund without taking the item back? Well, many businesses do this. Large companies can do this because they have the income. It would not be worth the time and hassle to get stuff replaced, and this happens a lot with candles, TVs, anything that can be easily damaged in shipments. In fact, Latex Catfish did the same thing to me where there was a miscommunication between us and they replaced the suit at no extra cost. The only kind of issues that will cause these suits to need to get replaced are production issues. If there is a loose seam or something that causes the whole suit to get ruptured while inflating it, that's not the customer's fault. That's not the shipment company's fault. That's Oz's fault and it's Squeak Latex's fault. I mean, if you guys have seen my unboxing video on about my Squeak Latex suit, it was packed very well. So if a suit is faulty, it's going to have to be on his end. We're not all made out of money, and I agree with that, Oz. I understand why you sold my suit in order to recover from funds. However, if you would have given me full control, I would have asked for the suit to be scrapped and used for other pre-mades. No resources would have been lost and I would have been happy. It broke my heart even though this was the only option that you gave me that would have resulted in my custom suit being created and have it fit me. Towards the end of this post he states, I could rant, rave, and name names to have those who don't support me lash out at them, create drama, but I don't want that. I don't even hate these people. I wish no ill of them. They're just misunderstanding the bigger picture. Once again, I do understand it from their point of view. I just wish they could try to understand it from mine. I don't want to create drama either, Oz. I tried to be as lenient with him as possible, but this was 4 years ago and it seems that he never decided to change. By that, I mean that there have been 3 people that had to get their suits either sold at the auction or canceled, all within the same time period that my order with him was pending. First off, there was the Husky Spear suit, which was in production and was sold at an auction. Secondly, there was a client that pulled an order because of a video that I posted, which may or may not have been that Husky Spear suit. I was never told what the suit was. And lastly, there was my suit of Zaros that was sold because he wanted to make the funds in order to create the suit that I originally wanted in the first place. To be honest, I feel a little bad that I pushed him so hard to get this order fixed so then I could have gotten my custom suit. However, he was just as dedicated as me. Him and I were so dedicated to get the suit created, but many of these errors were for a miscommunication between him and I, and from him and his manufacturers that actually create these suits. Towards the end of the screenshot he stated, once again I do understand it from their point of view, I just wish they could try to understand it from mine. I did understand Oz's position. I couldn't have been more stressed than him if I were in his shoes, but everyone handles things differently, and personally, this whole order process could have been better. I'm not asking for a refund, and I'm no longer looking for an apology from him. This next situation here is a public beware that you may read about by following the link in the description. In 2016, a furry whose name is Av decided to send $845 to Squeak Latex for a custom suit of his persona. Squeak sent him a size chart for him to fill out, and he sent back the size chart to Squeak Latex after a couple of days. Squeak sent several months without responding to Av, and then he finally got an email after a little more than 3 months without information. He went roughly 6 months after payment, and he was concerned if he should get a refund, so then he was still eligible for buyer's protection. My favorite way that Av put this was, "I appreciate your situation, but you must also appreciate mine. I'm $1,000 poor with nothing to show for it. PayPal's purchase protection ends in a few weeks, which means I will be left holding an empty bag and nothing more than a promise. And that's a lot of money to throw away." You may read this entire thread, but the too long didn't read at the bottom of the message said, "I ordered a custom suit from Squeak Latex and paid in full in March. After over 3 months of not answering emails, I was told that the suit was in production. 2 months later, with no communication, I filed a PayPal dispute and thankfully got most of my money back, while Oz blamed family issues and being on his phone as to why he couldn't answer emails. It turned out my suit was not in production after all." This is how Squeak Latex operates. I wanted to include this short bit into the video because a lot of people don't understand how Squeak Latex operates. Oz doesn't want to admit what I'm about to say, but Squeak Latex is a middleman company. What they do is they create their own designs and then they send them off to a Chinese company that makes these inflatable suits. Once the design is sent off, they create the order and then they send it back to Oz. Oz then takes the suits and performs photo shoots with it and posts it on Twitter before putting it up for an auction or sending it to the original buyer. Earlier in this video, I talked about Squeak Latex not liking latex catfish, and there is a reason behind this, and this image here shows why. Squeak Latex had a contract between Latex Catfish, where they insisted that Latex Catfish does not steal their designs, and they would both make profit off of them. This is from 2011 when they had their active contract with each other and Squeak Latex was still the middleman for these types of designs. They would send the designs over to them, wait for Latex Catfish to produce them, and then both companies would both get a cut of the suits. If you read the end of the email, you can see that Oz threatens to cut business with them, as he stated, "If you disappoint me again, I will be using another company to produce our latex orders. I already have 4 other manufacturers in China ready to make our designs." Oz takes offense from being known as a Chinese manufacturer when he literally used the words, "Made in China" is thrown around like a dirty word sometimes, and that is truly disappointing. He attempted to sell the company. Keep in mind that buying this company only results in communication between you and the Chinese company and the CAD files of all the designs for the suits. Oz does not like being called a scammer, which I can somewhat agree with. I've been scammed before, and there is a difference between being scammed and having simply a poor experience with the business. It would not be a scam if you either got the product that you wanted or if you got the refund that you originally paid for. So now you've heard it all. This is a long video and it was originally going to be longer, but I chopped out a section which was my final response to Oz and Squeak Latex. I removed that because I feel like that there's no point in anymore in trying to communicate with him. I officially uploaded this video because I don't want people to experience what I went through. I just want people to understand that there are some people out there who are not well equipped enough to handle all this drama and stress. When I was talking to him, he was telling me that he was too afraid to post on social media because he was worried about drama and people bad-mouthing him. Which is funny because I am the complete antithesis of that, because I don't mind telling the truth, even if it sparks a little bit of drama. I'm doing it to protect others and not because of cancel culture. I want people to make sure that I'm looking out for them, and I don't want people to fall into the same trap as I did. Anyways, if you listened to the whole video, you're absolutely amazing. This is the longest video I've ever made on YouTube, and I understand it's not an easy subject to listen to. So thank you all for watching this video, and I will see you next time.